So, for those who are not aware of your previous work, Nadia, where did your journey start? Now, I'll just make one thing very clear, actually, before we dive into this. So, probably the first time I met Nadia, I was almost caught out by this, but I did my research, thankfully. So, this is the Adelaide Contortion Collective, but for all intents and purposes, while she certainly has the move set and the skill set of a contortionist, Nadia is not, or does not consider herself a contortionist. She is an elite gymnast.
Yeah.
So that is a distinction that we need to make clear. Just out of curiosity, what's sort of the reasoning behind that?
Wait, I need to do. I have to search a perfect. So you know what?
And we lost your audio. All right, so I was saying before, you quite strictly identify as an elite gymnast, and will give evil eyes to anyone who attempts to call you a contortionist. Where did this come from?
Oh, okay. At the age of 3, by the way, last year I did celebrate like 25 years of my sport career. 25 years. And I kind of feel blessed about that because like not everyone can perform and work as long as, thank God, I do. So wait, stop. Where are you going?
All right.
So at the point when I started the gymnastic, it was nothing in Ukraine. The Soviet Union broke up, thank God, and there was pretty much nothing. Football, basketball, and there is one rhythmic gymnastic club in Kiev, and another one was Olympic team. So it wasn't a lot of choices to like where to go. Football? No. Basketball? No. So gymnastic was the only thing. And then when I first got to the gym, I saw those beautiful girls. They were doing the splits, they were jumping in the gym, they did tosses with the ribbon and clubs. And I was this little, like age of 3, I was like, oh my gosh, this is definitely what I'm going to do. We have what we have.
So straight into, so you started rhythmics at the age of 3. How long were you a rhythmic gymnast for?
Officially, I did have the contract with the country for, let me see, from the age of 11. So I get to national team at the age of 11 to Olympic team at the age of 13. Until 20, I did have the contract with the 21 with the country. So officially. Then I did perform also. No, so 23. Yeah. So like many years, because you can perform in a club, like any club of your country, but you cannot perform in World Cup, European Championships, Olympics, gymnasium, university, you can't perform. But when you got to the national team, you signed the contract with the country, and then you kind of allowed to perform there. So you're part of the national team. So it was a pretty long, rough period for me because the system in Ukraine is definitely another thing than in Europe or Australia, America, particularly America. When the coaches being pretty much rude and mean to you, really, like to punish child, to hit him, to yell at him with a very rude, rough words, it was the normal system. So it was good experience how not to be in the future for me and the rest of the people.
Okay. So within the Ukrainian gymnastics team, what were sort of some of the methods that they used to train your skill set?
The main message from them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Broad
work till you
question.
die. Work till you die. The only reason when you can stop and not training, not practicing, if you dead. That's it. Like, you know? And for children, the thing, a little problem, like for me was, I was very serious child. Like, if the coach said to me, do that, I would die and I would definitely do that. And this is bad. From one side it's good, from another it's bad. And when I grew up, when I left sports, when I started to perform and in other things, I was like, I cannot go out of that system, when you know that you always have to break yourself down, like absolutely, absolutely. And just after that, you will feel yourself, yes, I did something good. But no, it's not like that. You should not punish yourself all the time to get the result. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are other ways to get the good result. I'm not sure that Beatles were writing yesterday and being struggling or something like that. I think they were in a good condition. They were having fun and blah blah blah. So other ways exist.
Okay. So it would be fair to say then that it was, because I know you hear some stories about gymnasts where it's virtually a full-time job. You go in at 4 in the morning and you train till 8 in the evening. Was that, did you go through a similar regimen to that? Or was it a little freer?
Had like from not from four, thank God, but from kind of at 8 o'clock in the first practice started. Then we had a break like from 1 p.m. till 2,
Mhm.
and then from 2 till 9 in the evening, like, and then you got home like 10 p.m. Like you lay down and again and again and again, and it's pretty rough because we didn't have any positive things. So, like for me, it was a very good example when the system works against the child. The system works against the person and the personality. That should not be like that, definitely. Because I'm not sure that, for example, when Messi or Ronaldinho, wherever they run in the field, and the coach like yelling at him and punishing him, no, definitely not. So, for example, when I got to America and I did coach children for American national team, you never can touch the child ever. Like if you touch like this, it was like, oh my gosh, why are you so mean to our child? And I was like, really? Like it's practicing. You sometimes you have to like kick and hit a little bit just, but for Americans, no. Maybe that's why such big differences. We have the results, but we have negative sides emotionally and physically traumas. And America, they don't have such a good result in rhythmic gymnastics because they have like all this, all these gentle child.
Very pandered.
Yeah.
So not so big on passive stretching.
What?
Not so big on passive stretching over there then.
Oh my God,
In
your
America.
accent makes me crazy. Say it again, but very slowly, please.
Right. America was not so big on passive stretching, being pushed into the stretchers.
Oh no, never, never, no, no. I mean, sometimes, yes, when you got already like on a good level, like American championships, and you're kind of on the top there, yeah. But basically, no. What about Australia, by the way?
So Australia rhythmic gymnastics, I've only sort of explored very, very briefly. They tend to frown on males being involved in that world here, but there is some passive stretching, some pushing, but a lot of it is focused on active and flexibility through strength. And in fact, a lot of dynamic stretching as well, so a lot of kicks and a lot of fast movement.
I see. So I will come to Australia. I'll show you how to work in gymnastics.
Yes, we'd love to have you. So when starting at such an early age, I imagine gave you a definite advantage. But we are here to talk about flexibility. Did you find it was something that developed quite easily for you, or was it something you really had to work for?
There were two things. On one side, it was super easy for me, like really easy. And I saw the girls were struggling in the gym, and they were doing the back bends, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, no, 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 that's so painful." They were crying all the time, all in tears. And for me, it was different. First of all, I go very good with the pain. I'm like, if I have to go through the pain, okay, no problem. I can get that. With my childhood. From another, I was really flexible, but the thing that flexibility is one thing. You also have to have muscle. So if you're very flexible, your legs are flying like above your head, but you cannot hold your legs, like do the balance good or wherever any other element, your flexibility means nothing. It's for gymnastics and for contortion also. Like if you can't control your muscles and body, it just one flexibility doesn't work. But I had at the age of, let me see, at the age of 12, yeah, when I just got to the national team, my coach said to me, like, if you want to go to European Championship, you should to get more flexible with the legs because my back bends were perfect. With the legs, it didn't work that good. And I remember I was staying in the gym till like 10 or 11 p.m. at the age of 12 by my own. It was the one real possibility to get more flexible. I took this heavy metal things. I don't remember. When when you're in the gym you do this.
Oh yeah, the bell bars, the weights. Yeah.
Yeah, I put them in my front leg, in the back leg. I stayed in the split and started to stretch. It was horrible, especially when you're little and you do it by your own. Yeah, but I had the goal to get to European Championship, and at the age of 13, it's pretty cool. Like you're very young and you go there, and we were in the finalists, so it was like really good result. And then at that point, I became pretty flexible with the old middle split and front, right leg. By the way, we're gonna talk about it later. One of the most important things that I have right and left leg, pretty much the same flexibility. So usually people have just one leg, and it's good, but it's better to have both for your body and like being more comfortable and more healthy.
So when you made it to the championships, could you sort of talk me through that experience? What was that like for you as a 13-year-old?
Oh my gosh. One little thing, I mean not a little thing, against with our coaches, that you cannot be yourself in everything. So you like a little soldier, like a real soldier. You cannot use mobile phones. You cannot eat what you want and when you want. You cannot drink even what you want to because they always control you. So they were like going crazy about how much do we weigh. Like a little child of the age of 13 who is practicing all the day long, like you can imagine. You cannot be fat because you're in the system when you never eat, you never drink because coaches control you. And when we get to the airplane, my mom gave me raisins and nuts. What is not allowed? Like anything from food is not allowed. Never. So you're always hungry. your head is going like this all the time. You're dizzy. You like, oh my gosh. You're always extremely hungry and thirsty.
Mhm.
So when we got to the airplane, my coach came to me, take my ear and said, if you ever will eat something what is not allowed to you, I'm gonna throw away you from the plane. And I was like little, like, oh my god, where's my mommy? I wanna go home. I don't wanna go to European Championships. No. So it was always like that. And when the system and the practicing there is not absolutely like in the world of contortion or in the world of other athletes, it's a nightmare. And for example, when I try to explain that in interview or talking with my friends, for example, football players like top Ukrainians, they never believed me until the day they met my coach. When they met her, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I got baby what you said to me. I understand you right now." you know. So from one side, to finalize the question, it was super cool because you're little, you go on a high level, like pretty in a young age. But from another, it's pretty spooky because you signing the contract with the country and you're representing the country and it's so little and you have responsibility to give yourself fully, to be the best, to do the best way. So kind of like that.
While you're performing, well, sorry, try again. While you were performing, so rhythmics typically is divided into floor, ball, ribbon. Did you have a particular favourite that you enjoyed doing?
Yeah, ribbon, because there is me and one more girl from Ukraine from my team who did one of the most difficult tricks when you make a toss with the ribbon slide, and you make 4 walkovers forward and then catch it.
Okay.
Usually people do 2 or 3. Yeah, 4 is like super difficult because you have to make a super high toss and extremely fast to make a somersault. Somersault. So I'm just like 2 people in the world, boys, like till the last year, I think. So ribbon is the favorite for me. The clubs are pretty um very painful to work with them. I have scars like you cannot see them, but anyways, when the club you make the toss and it kicks you, oh my god! To break the nose is pretty easy, like, and to make a scar because it's. I remember it was Grand Prix in Israel, and the girl from other country, she was making a toss with the ribbon. So ribbon it goes like the stick and the material, and this stick is pretty sharp. And when it got into your face, oh, it's sometimes you like should to put some uh to knit, yes, when you have the stretch and then you sew it.
Stitches.
Yeah.
Yes, stitches. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much. So, and one girl makes the toss and the stick gets straight into my nose, pretty close to my eye. And if she got into my eye, that's gonna be the catastrophe. Uh, so there was the ambulance and everything. And they put stitches in my nose, and it was pretty like this on my whole face. I could not open my eye. I was all in the blood, like prostrate. That was so difficult, and I could not perform. And the doctor said to me, like, "Okay, go and perform that, but don't put your head backward or to the side." And I was like, "Guys, how am I going to perform when I cannot move my head?" Anyways, I took the third place. Everything gets good. And then we get into Kiev and I get to the ambulance and they started to fix my face. from one side, gymnastics looks like super easy, light, ribbons and balls and everything super cool. But from another, there is like that. So ribbon is my favorite.
I suppose the true art of a performer is to be bloodied, battered, and bruised, and still make it look like you're having fun.
Absolutely. The coaches made you show that you're happy and everything is good, but inside, like, one more thing about practicing in gymnastics, we were so under pressure. Why I'm telling that? Because I just try to show and explain that there is other possibilities how people can get the results without stress. If you under stress, under pressure, it doesn't mean that you will have a good result. No. Sometimes, yes, someone should push you. So I was standing in the gym and I was so extremely tired. Your legs are always bandaged with a bandage or something. Or you're all in the bruises, scratches. You're extremely thin. You're hungry. You're thirsty. Emotionally, you're absolutely broken. And I was standing and I was dreaming, oh my gosh, like, please let something happen to me right now. So the ambulance will come and take me away from the gym, no matter what. Just please take away me from the gym. I don't want to work anymore. I was crying I don't know. I just cried pretty much every day. It wasn't just me. It was the rest of the girls too. Oh, fuck. I hate it. Okay, let's go further.
I'm feeling like we missed a trick somewhere. You know, bugger corporal punishment. Just send all the prisoners off to do rhythmic gymnastics. That seems like punishment enough. So after you made the decision to leave the world of rhythmic gymnastics, I mean, was that a decision you made or was it made for you?
The thing that the system was pretty difficult because I had to perform further, but we have corruption in gymnastics, like in the whole country. By the way, what is with the corruption in Australia?
Corruption? Corruption. That's the right word.
Yeah. But we're leading, Ukraine leading in corruption. We're like on the top, for sure. So it doesn't mean like if you're good, if you're best, then you're going to perform in the main competition. No. There is corruption, there is the people who are the coach more interest in one or other people, different reasons always. So we got from the worldwide university. It's like Olympics, but goes one time in 2 years. Olympics, one time in 4. University, one time in 2 years. It's all summer type of sports like swimming, running, athletics, other gymnastics, football, basketball, all of them come and perform on a big Olympic village. And I got the gold and silver. So it was like good, like wow, okay. We are the winners, everything. Then we got Ukraine and president and the mayor of the city. Also greeted us, gave us some medals, some other stuff, and it was a good point to leave or continue and get better and better, or leave. So I decided to leave because I also had a trauma, and that's it. It was pretty, I think, smart decision for me at that time.
So you sort of touched upon this earlier, but what was the journey there from gymnast to stage performer?
The reason Anatoly Zalevsky, you know him? You definitely should know him.
Who, sorry? Who was that?
Anatoly Zalevsky. You definitely know him. You saw him. When we were in Vegas, he was performing in one of the shows with his act in, let me see, was not the Caesar Palace, it was in Aria Hotel,
Okay.
probably. Yeah, so the day after we had the interview with you, I went to the show. I'll send you the link. So he's like one of the best in the world from side from guys, kind of contortionist, hand balance.
I see.
And he's pretty talented guy. He's very smart. He's a good businessman. He has a lot of good sides. So after sport, he took me in his apartment. He has 2 floors apartment in Kiev with a wonderful view in the city, like the glass from the floor to the ceiling, an amazing big gym in his apartment. It was penthouse. And he's pretty super artistic person and pretty romantic person. He's like brought me in the gym and said, Nadya, okay, forget about gymnastics, forget about being a soldier. You should be a live person and like to use your possibilities and talent in other things. I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do? So, and it was a funny thing. He was trying to make my inside personality kind of to go out so I could express myself. Because in gymnastics it was like smile and you're like, so no emotion, no real emotion, just a physical, and that's it. And there was all this wonderful view. It was the beautiful view over the cliff and like everything, and the sun was going down like super romantic. He stood in front of me, and I was scared. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And he said like, don't touch me, but make me feel yourself. Make me feel you. I was like, how? How am I supposed to do that? And he said like, you have to be emotionally so much fulfilled. So me standing in front of you, like together, I should feel your emotion, your inside, um, your insight and emotions. And do you understand what I'm trying to explain here?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so like when you're on the stage, you cannot touch people. I mean, you can, but usually it's not like that. You cannot be super close to them so they can feel you. You have to express yourself that way. So the people somewhere there in the end of the concert hall, super far away, should feel your energy. And he started to teach me how to share the energy in the gym. I was shocked. I was like, this is it. This is a catastrophe. It doesn't work with me. Yeah, but after that, it took time. We started to practice, to work, and somehow it was like I was getting the athletic side of myself and to build this other side, other possibilities.
The emotional and the
Thank you.
artistic side.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of that was virtually unlearning quite a bit of what rhythmics had taught you.
Again.
I said it sounds like a lot of that process was actually unlearning a lot of what you had been taught in rhythmics. You know, that very
Yeah, absolutely.
technical based style.
Yeah, absolutely. Technical side from gymnastics and this kind of emotional from kind of artistic world, like together combining, it's it's pretty good, like thing.
And so from there started, it would be fair to say, quite a successful career on the stage. How many performances have you put together now?
I don't know. I don't know. Thanks God in Kiev, I perform all the time. For example, right now, I mean, before quarantine, and pretty often there is the um private events and we fly to different places. Not always you can show that because it's private residence of residents, different countries. Or yeah, but you cannot talk about that because when you go to perform in a private event, you sign the paper that you never show, never say, and blah blah blah. Everything what is going on there is confidential. So every time when you got to some kind of such event, you go through lots of security, the people security, the dogs. They look through your bag to check if you brought something into the territory, like all these crazy things, like which is taking like 1 hour or something. And just after that, you go to the dressing room, or you just put the stage, kind of stage, which is there. So, but it's a good thing because why I started to talk about the government people, because they are pretty kind of sassy, and they saw everything. They had everything, and they kind of saw everything. And when they kind of book you, it's good because for them they book you not just like an act performer. They book you like as a person, because I do a lot of volunteer. I'm a social activist. I have like good reputation in Kiev as an athlete in Ukraine, and a social person, and then as a performer. Like, so sometimes when got to such events, sometimes they're like, "Oh, you cannot perform. You can just sit at the table. Let's eat and talk." I'm like, "No, guys, I came to perform." They're like, "Oh, come on," and like, "Hey, free champagne. Go and take it." I'm like, okay. So it's kind of different things. Sometimes it's like words on stage. Sometimes it's like that, and it's interesting.
Okay. So over the years, have there been any standout acts that you've put together?
How many acts?
Any standouts? Any particular favourites?
Right now, the last year I did the act in the best, in the top. You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The trailer. Yeah. So this is my favorite because at my point, when I tend to perform and work all the time, sometimes you are too tired to do all the contortion things. Because first of all, when you got to perform, it's not always the big show like I did the dinner show Hotel Freedom for 2 years in Kiev, huge show which I created with our big company. Um, it's not always the good stage, the good accommodation, the good possibilities. Like to warm up, so it's gonna be warm. So it's gonna be the possibilities where you can lay down a good place, prepare yourself. It's pretty much never like that, because in Ukraine we have a lot of private events. Yes, they do put stages, but usually there is just stage and the residence, the field, the golf field, the tennis, and you cannot. It's not the place where you can prepare yourself for a hard performance. Usually it goes like that. You do the makeup, you make pictures of people, and you then right away on the stage without warming up. You have to put the bat on your head without warming up. Like it's really rough and it's not correct. So I did this act in a top, which is it's kind of cabaret, but no nude bodies or something, and it goes super cool, especially in the end with the champagne, with this smoker on the stage. Like people go crazy because I do the contortion gymnastic thing, and there are lots of champagne. Usually my clients bring me lots of bottles of my yacht, and I'm like, hey, let's have fun. So this is for right now my favorite, but it's long. It's like 12 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So are they good enough to heat the water up to a decent temperature?
The champagne. There was one show when I was opening up the champagne.
Yeah.
And it was super dark in the audience, and it was a hard spotlight on me, and I was barely like seeing like what's going on. And I did understand that I need, when I open it up, that it should fly somewhere up there. It did not work like that. One person, and it was like for a luxury event, like extremely rich people, like top level. And one guy, he was a millionaire. He came to me with this thing from the bottle, which is like, yeah, name of it, like bringing that to me, like, okay, what I deserve for bringing you back the piece of the bottle? I'm like, it's nothing. So I hit his head. It was straight like here, and I heard someone like "ow," and I was like, "Okay, like the show go, the show should go on." So
It's just if he asks, you're aiming for him. Just lining it up.
next time I'm gonna do like that.
Yeah, just take a moment. So I know this might be one of your older acts now, but for a while there, one of your more prominent acts was the flower act,
Yeah.
the rotating stage. I remember that got a lot of attention.
You know, the thing that when I did the first time, it was the day when Michael Jackson passed away, and I
Right.
had a dream to meet him. Yeah, I was dreaming about that since my childhood. And I did talk to his sister, Latoya Jackson, to the his friends and everything. But he started his tour. This is it. The name of the tour was This Is It in London in O2 Arena. And my parents, knowing how much I love him, they bought me the ticket. The ticket cost more than £1,000. Yeah, because it was VIP ticket.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, it was like super cool. More than £1,000. You can imagine, like it's a lot.
Front row
Really,
seats.
you can buy a good phone, like or something. I don't know, TV. So and my parents knew that they bought this VIP ticket for me. It was the private section for VIP people and the gifts, which I have right now. So after this, um, uh, yeah, and he passed away, and I was like absolutely destroyed. So I don't know how I just created this little act named Rose. His favorite flower was rose, mine too. So I decided like, why not? And from that day, it was like I did changing to the point it's right now. Looks like, but the thing that this is the super popular act. No matter how many other acts I do, everyone always book this act. Even if I already performed in this company with this act, they always book it. Like always. So right now I'm thank God at the point when you kind of can sleep, someone will wake you up, I will go perform and do it perfect. Because it's like for 10 years, you definitely can do it good. And so yeah, like something like that.
Okay. So and I realise this is a broad question, but just off the top of your head, what advice or what recommendations would you give to anyone here who wants to choreograph their own contortion act?
I think the most important and the most successful thing, um, it's hard. Someone is ringing for me. I will stop the call, okay? Because someone ringing for me. Wait, don't go. Она перезвонил я на интервью. Спасибо. Yeah, here we go. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's very hard to find out the right way, the right kind of story of your act. Yeah, but for me, it was like I needed time You need to try to create and create and create and create, and somewhere on this road of all these creations, you will find out the right way. For example, 2 years ago, I started to do dinner show Hotel Freedom with the company of our president. The guy who is president in Ukraine right now, he is the actor.
Wow.
Yeah. So he had a super successful company. They did humor. Basically it's humor, acting, and they're like super rich, super popular in Ukraine. And they did invest in my show. It was like 2.5 hours dinner show with their live music, with different performances, with the waitress. They were dancing with the food. It was a huge production, and it was my dream. Like 10 years ago, I was dreaming to create the first one dinner show in Ukraine. Because dinner show in Ukraine is not something popular like in Europe. For example, in Europe, dinner show is like super popular. In Ukraine, no. But we created with the company a really good one. And 10 years ago, I said to myself that we have a very good concert hall, super old, but very good, named Freedom. And I did perform there like since my childhood, before gymnastics, during gymnastics, after gymnastics. And I said, here on this stage, I will make the dinner show, the first one, huge dinner show. And then like 10 years later, I had a clear understanding of how it will look 10 years ago. I definitely understood that. And when we took the scriptwriter for the show, she and him created the directory of the show, which is going like in my life. I don't know how it happened, but I did not tell them that, oh guys, let's make the show about my life. No. But it happened like that. I don't know how. They wrote the script, I gave them ideas, and they put it on the paper, analyzed it, showed me, and I was like, what's that? Like, it's my life.
Yeah.
I mean, the life of the performer, of the kind of actress. I was actress in that show. Of her life, of her career life and love life, and all together. So it happened. We realized that we created that show. It was super popular here until one of the main people in this company became a president. So he owns this company, he became a president, and of course everything started to change. But it's going back to your question. If you have these clear ideas, clear, maybe not super clear, but strong wishes, I think you should hold them in your head and day by day kind of improve in your head. Later, it's gonna reveal. Like I wanted to perform in Las Vegas, then people called me, paid the trip, made everything for me to perform with one of my new acts, which I just even didn't analyze at that point. It was the dream came true. Like, so dreams are coming true. I'm sure if you step by step trying to reach it. The same with the act.
That's amazing. And also your president. I mean, no consideration for the rest of his cast members when he decided to start ruling the country, I'm sure.
I was shocked. We were performing, and then I started to hear like some strange information about that something is changing, and I was like, "Hey guys, like you really started all this presidential thing?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, okay." So, and he's doing pretty good, yeah.
Right. Right. So for all of you listening in, take away from this: Prime Minister isn't out of the question, apparently. So, yeah. as a, as a stage performer, having gone through that process of, gymnastics to the stage, what these days, what does a typical training session look like for you?
It looks like, first of all, my phone is super interesting. I'm a lazy. After gymnastics, I became super lazy. I mean, not super lazy, but I don't want to go through any rough practices anymore. I had 3 surgeries on my knee. 3. Yeah, and I'm sorry. I will flood. Yeah, here we go. 3 surgeries. So one surgery was during I did performance gymnastics. Second also, and being in a crutches. I was going to the gym to rehearse and practice there, being under huge pressure of my coaches. And it was horrible. They did not support you. They did not take care about you. They just made pressure you in the crutches. Like, that's horrible. So, not so long time ago, I did not tell anyone, but I did have another one surgery, and I just recovered after it. So the latest video which you see, it was like after surgery. So I just step by step going back. It was a secret information. No one knew that. No one. So I try to take care about the body because I'm thinking that more than 25 years I work, perform, and I work out. I do master classes for different people, children, adults, on the big audiences, and I feel blessed about that. And I want to keep that for as long as possible. And from the last during the quarantine, Jean-Claude Van Damme, we met several times each other. I will tell about it later. Yeah, he gave like advices about like be kind and soft and gentle for your muscles, for your bones, for everything. Because there's no other way when you can keep all this good energy in your body for the rest of your life. If you want to perform as long as is possible. So I definitely, it's better advice. I definitely advise. It's better to spend a little bit more time on the practice. But for example, start with a little, even massage of your muscles and everything very slowly. To warm up, to stretch, to prepare yourself to the like difficult contortion trick, no matter which one is difficult to you, but it should be a slow, gentle way. Sometimes when I go to the Ukrainian TV shows, they always like asking me, "Oh, Nadya, please show something," and you automatically do it in the light show, and then you think like, no, it should not be like that. Better don't do it. Okay, they need it for the ratings. They need it for the beautiful picture on the screen. But for yourself, it's not that good. And so at the age of 30, I just tried to myself to make, hey, come on, be smart. Like, take care of yourself, you know? So the most important, not to put your butt on your head. The most important to be healthy, and being healthy, try to do that. But because some people like, oh no, I'm gonna do that no matter how hard it's gonna be for me, I will do that. But what a price, you know? Sometimes it's not worth it, you know.
Those people tend to have much shorter careers.
Yeah, definitely. Cheers.
Drink, but cheers.
Wait, why does it have anything?
I'll have one after the interview. So now this is a question that I get asked quite a bit, and I'd be interested to hear your take on it. But do you follow any particular diet regarding alongside your training?
No. Again, going back to the topic about Jean-Claude Van Damme, he gave me some good advices. I did perform. He has his own movie I don't remember exactly the name of that, but it's the way of eagle or something like that. I was not super like on the cinema or something, but he did presentation of that movie, and I did perform there. He was drinking all the event. He was drinking the orange juice, fresh, and something like that. Everyone was drinking a lot, like alcohol, smoking, like usually. And straight after the show, I did bow, like applauded, and I saw him running towards me. I was like, oh my gosh, what? Did something went wrong? And he grabbed me and put me on the sofa straight in front of the people and started to make massage to me, put my all bones in the right position after the show, and then we started to talk. He's like, how do you feel yourself? How do you take care about yourself? And blah, 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 all the things. So, and what I said before, he also said to me, like, the most important thing is to take care about your body. And after his long career, he was like, and drinking and using drugs and everything, and trying to sit on different diets. But the most important thing, that's my personal opinion, is that you should do what is comfortable for you. Because when I was living in America, I gained weight because like America, lots of plastic food and my body was going crazy about that. And I gained I gained weight. And I realized that I found out for myself the best things which I should eat. I was eating just vegetables, sometimes meat, and sometimes in the restaurant some soup or something like that. But I found out by like a long way what is good for me, which vegetables, which dressings, and everything. So I don't believe in the diet. I mean, yes, they gave you the shape at one point, but later everything goes back. But if you naturally find for yourself the best way not to gain weight, to hold your body in a good shape, it's super personal. But you have to find it for yourself. That's what I really advise. Because sometimes it's normal to eat some kind of chocolate or cookie at late in the evening. That's okay. It can be. Why not? No, just 6 p.m. No, no, we're not eating that. No, no, you can't. But it depends. You know, you can this whole day not to eat chocolate, but after 6, no, I'm sorry. After 6, no. But the whole day was like eating ice cream and everything.
Yeah, make up for it earlier. So now I realise this is maybe a little off topic, but it's worth bringing up. So outside of your performance world, you were saying, and you touched upon this before, you also do a lot of humanitarian work, and you work with the Ukrainian forces and the local communities. Could you briefly tell us about that?
Uh, my kind of social and volunteer life, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So I don't know if some happened like that when it's my personal wishes to do a lot of social things. And then I think maybe it goes from sport when you are responsible not just only for yourself, but you're responsible for the whole country when you represent and your flag is waving behind your back. Like, this responsibility makes myself feel more confident and more, when you do something to people, it makes you happy. It makes you fulfilled. You live. And I did a lot of volunteer with the animals, like a lot of people do, and poor people. But then when Russia invaded in Ukraine, started a huge war, which is still in Ukraine because of the Russian aggression. I started to travel to the Donetsk area where the war is, and the same after Las Vegas, we met. in a week or two, wherever, I got to Ukraine, and the next day I get to the war. So yeah, like right away, I just changed my bag and I sat in the car or in the train, I don't remember. And right away, then I just from the from the airport,
Yeah.
the car met me, changed my bag, and straight to the war. Why I do that? First of all, I perform on war, and can you imagine, guys, the difference? You perform in Las Vegas, and then you perform on war. You know the difference? First of
Quite
all,
common.
emotionally, you're going crazy. Like, this is first of all. Secondly, you start to understand the life in another way. Like, thank God you don't know what war is, but we do know what war is. It's dead people, it's blood, it's people crying, destroyed cities. Like, oh my gosh. Sometimes I think when I go to war, sometimes I think that Spielberg is gonna go right now in front of me and said, okay, this is it, we're done, because it's a light, horrible movie, thriller. Yeah, so, and then when you go to the soldiers or children and you perform in front of them, they like looking at you like, oh my god, like who you are, what are you doing here? Lots of them knows me, and of course they like really happy, and I feel blessed that I can share. Like, you go to America, you earn money there, you perform there, you make people happy there, then you go there, you spend a lot of money, energy, you always sometimes you perform and the bullets flying above your head and your hair is shaking because of the speed of the flying bullet above your head. And the first time I didn't realize what was that. But thank God I have the uh, guys who protect me, soldiers, the car, which is bulletproof car, and everything. They try to help me while I'm helping them. So I think it's a very important part of every person's life. When you're responsible not just only for yourself, but for others, I think it's amazing. Like, I'm sure a lot of people do that. It's amazing.
Oh, I'm sure they do, but it's still amazing, amazing thing that you do. Going out there, helping people, sort of spreading what little joy you can, in an otherwise joyless environment. So no, I think that's
Yeah.
really, really good. Well done. Sue, you over the years, it would be fair to say you've collected a few accolades. I noted that you've been voted at least twice most flexible performer in the world. Did that come with a medal, or was that just a sort of an unofficial thing?
Do you remember when in the Grammy Awards, Elizabeth Taylor went on stage and said Michael Jackson is the king of pop?
Yep.
It was pretty much like that.
Oh, okay. Because the other two awards here, and I can't say I disagree with them, is Ukraine's most beautiful performer.
Woman.
A woman, sorry.
Yeah, it was actually it was American book. Yeah, it's not in here. American book, the most beautiful woman, national treasure, Ukraine. And they put me in the list like number one, the most beautiful woman in Ukraine. I mean, I think it's not just the most beautiful. It's like basically all my athletics career, my social, and how I look, and all together, like put they put me in this list. It was American edition, yeah. So it's a big, beautiful book. So yeah, and then we pretty much often have something like the media. They make they need to make something all the time. some rumors or something like that. So they always create something like the list who is most beautiful, who is most talented. In 2018, I was listed like one of the most um, spectacular athletes. I don't know if it's correct to translate it, but pretty much like that. There is a big Ukrainian edition, which like pretty good one, yes. So they also put it in there. I mean, they don't give anything for that, but in the media you read it, and you're like, oh, okay,
Why not?
why not?
Yes, I found that mildly amusing when I saw those pop up during the course of my research. So what is, I mean, we're finally, after 6 months, starting to come out of quarantine. What is next for you? What's coming up in your near future?
You know, like I think for everyone in this whole world, it happens so much seldom, but right now it's like that. We kind of start a little bit new life. We all going on internet. We, uh, I think we realize a lot of things which we never realized before. I think so. For example, for me, it was like that. So I hope that everything gonna go back in the same, the way it was. But I hope that one thing which not gonna be the same as it was before. This thing is our understanding of the world and of uh, us in the world, because us is not that much important. The most important is planet Earth and everything. I remember when Michael Jackson, like 30 years ago, was telling like, "Hey guys, we have to save the world. There's gonna be the catastrophe. Come on, just stop." And everyone were like, "Hey, you're an asshole. Like, go and perform. Like, what are you talking about?" And he was really one of those people, like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's also like really taking care about the nature, the planet Earth, and everything. So I think we should start from ourselves, from the man in the mirror. We have to start from that person, from the little thing not to drop garbage, mats on the floor, the gloves to leave on the floor, to little things to help little kitten, I don't know, to help your neighbor. All the, I'm sure that maybe it sounds silly right now or standard, but I'm sure 1000% if we're gonna do like that, the world's gonna be absolutely different. Even if we had the pandemic, being super, like I said right now, attentive and taking care, and we had this pandemic, we could go more easily through that because we would understand that we're not alone, you know, and but we unite only then when we have a trouble. And this is the main trouble. We always have to be united, and then everything's gonna be at least a little bit better.
Um, can we, at any point in the future, be it near or far, can we expect you to make an appearance in Australia?
Oh, I would love to. There was one of my dreams to get to Australia.
Yeah.
But I need to be booked by someone in Australia to get there. Because usually it goes like that.
Okay.
When you book, I was in Mexico because we had with Michelle Mallard, he's the producer of Louis Vuitton, to take care about all these public appearances. And we had amazing photo shoot in Mexico,
Mhm.
in I don't remember the name of the city, somewhere close to Cancun, in a beautiful hacienda. So, and they
Oh,
booked me, so I got there and I did work there, and then I did have some vacation there. So someday it will work like that with Australia, I'm sure.
okay, maybe, anyway. I mean, all things going well, I'm hoping to find myself in Kiev at some point in the next 2 years. Are there any locations that I need to visit?
Oh, oh my gosh, Ukraine, thank God, after the Soviet Union broke up and for the last 5 years, even not paying attention on war, lots of things are changing because people changed. People changed, people started to take care about, war started and people started to take care about the country, you know? So lots of things changed in a good way. So I have an apartment. You can take that to live there.
Oh, okay, cool. Free accommodation. Love it. um, I'm going to open up the floor. Does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask Nadia before we start to wrap things up? Now's your chance. Chime in.
I have one question.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you deal with injuries?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good question. First of all, somehow we should think how not to get this injury. But with me, it works like, as I told before, I did work till the end until I broke my body down. And after that, when I was in the clinic in the surgery, I was like, I think it was not smart for myself to work that hard. Like, so right now, after the surgery, my third surgery on one knee passed like, I did it in January. Yeah, on a Christmas, almost on a Christmas night, I was in a hospital in the surgery. So right now I'm on the way on the recovery. And this is the third time when I started to listen my doctor. If doctor said don't do that, right now I will be smart enough not to do that. And I really spend a lot of money and energy on the all medicine. Like there is a really good and super expensive medicine. I do that. I did not practice. My coach said to me, or doctor said to me, don't practice 3 months minimum. And I did not. I really did not because I understood if I want to go further and perform, I should better spend right now this 3 months, just 3 months, and that's it. And then the whole life is in front of you, you know. And I really do trust them, and they really good because they take care about really cool athletes, not just from Ukraine, world-class athlete boxers. They come to Ukraine and the surgeries and everything. It's surprisingly, but it's like that. So this is the only way, and to listen to your body. I always listen to my body. If it's paining, if it's aching, I just try to understand and not to work out today. Because again, what is the most important in life? Like you're a young girl, like me, pretty much too. We have so many things to do in life, and athletic side is one of the possibilities. Because for the next in the future, what I do right now, I do sometimes coach people sometimes. And I understand that if I did not take care about myself like years ago, I could not even coach people right now. I'm not talking about performing, you know. But thank God right now, I could not use heels like for many, many years. And right now, thanks to the doctors and my smart hair, I put on the heels. And it was for me like, oh my gosh, I could not do that for 6 years. And now at the age of 30, I can do that. It sounds silly, but we have to be as smart as possible at the point we are right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So take care of it.
Anyone else?
By the way, did you realize how to make records of all this?
How to make, sorry?
Records.
Oh, yes, it is recording, yes.
Why are you standing all the time? Why are you not sitting?
Sorry, I missed that.
Why are you standing all the time?
I'm standing. It's more the layout of the room and the position of the camera. I mean, I could sit, but I'd be sort of all the way back here.
Funny.
I'd rather fill the screen.
Oh,
So
okay, perfect.
it's just a balance. Trying to find that balance. Although I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to that glass of champagne when we're done. You've got yours next to you there. Are you? How often do we see a little bit of drunk contortion from Nadya Vasina?
The funny thing, the dinner show which I made in Kiev, I was playing the main role. I was the prima of the show, and the main topic of the show was that me, Nadine, I just came to the hotel, and people welcoming me, and I spent several days there. This what's going on in the show, and during these days, I was eating and drinking during the show because people in Ukraine are not going good with the dinner show. What is that? Why we have food at the time when the show says the food will be? Why I cannot order it like at any time? I mean, you can, but the directory of the show goes like this: food at this point, and then food at that point. And when the waitresses dancing brought me food, I started to eat, and then the people also get the food, and they would understand, like, okay, it's time to eat. So I was eating and drinking the whole show. And the end of the show, like almost one bottle of champagne was done. Every night I was drinking during the show. But you cannot feel that because you work, and you don't feel the alcohol. But the thing my friends would laughing at me like, hey, come on, stop drinking. Yeah,
We get to the end of the show and say, oh, that was a good run, chaps. We're a bit off now.
pretty much like that. One time it was like that.
Just happened to make it through 2 bottles of champagne, did you?
I was after the show in a tub. There is a lot of bottles of champagne on me, and after the show I take the shower. But anyways, the smell of champagne still in your wet hair, and I was driving back home, and then police stopped me,
Oops.
and I'm like with all this makeup, with this wet hair full of champagne, costumes they all wet in champagne, and they in the car. And I open up the window like, hi. And they're like, excuse me, lady, did you drink tonight? I'm like, no. And this horrible smell in the car. And I was like, oh my gosh, guys, give me a second. Look, this is the picture. This is the video. I was swimming in champagne. And they're like, okay. So, and fun and little trouble.
Well,
I have a question.
Go for it.
Do you do yoga? And does yoga help for contortion?
I did try one time to do yoga, but for me, it's a little bit boring. I'm like sitting, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's going on? Like, oh, what time is it? Oh, where's my phone? And I can't concentrate. Maybe it was not the good place, or I was not in the mood. But I think good to do everything what is good personally for you. If that is good for you, it's good. For me, it did not work. I was like, and there was the event when I was an athlete and I shoot to show that yoga is good and the cameras and the spotlights, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, no, stop it. Like 1 hour. So for me, it did not work.
Woman of little patience.
Yeah.
I suppose it's probably worth asking because we've got, how many have we got now? 6 people here who are sort of trying to push. Are there any, off the top of your head, any specific moves or any exercises that you would recommend?
Yes, everything which you see on my YouTube channel, which is absolutely dead, but I still upload videos there. There is the folder named like workout or something. What I do there, if it's possible and comfortable for the rest to do or to try to do, yes. Because this all what I do pretty much all the time when I get to the gym. I do all these things, and they for me are good. So you just click there, and there is short videos. You can see them and try to um, try them. Try to try them. Yes, those are.
Certainly give them a crack.
I have another question.
Welcome.
I want to ask, have you ever trained with a injury in neck or shoulder?
Oh yeah, I remember I was living in America and I had horrible trouble with my neck. I was sleeping in the bed like with head like that, going up from the bed. I was dying. But my problem, as I told you before, I did not take care of myself. I didn't go to a doctor. I just put icy hot sticker on my neck, and this was the only way to how I treat myself. No, that's horrible. But for me, really, what for my muscles work, you know these icy hot stickers. So there is a sticker on your muscles. Yeah. So you put it on your muscles, and they make the effect of hot and cold. So these difference makes my muscles, for example, very good. And every time when I feel pain and I feel that they are tired, I just put the sticker anywhere, no matter where, neck, shoulders, back, hips, and it really helps me. And also, I do try to go on a massage to these professional guys who really understand my muscles and understand what I do. Because on some massage, people just do the usual massage to you, like for a usual person, but it's not correct because they don't understand how your body works, which muscles are work, which you should not touch, which you should take care more. So anytime, any troubles, better to take care, spend 2 weeks to check your neck, and then to start again. Super simple, but it's no other choice because look at their football players. Any trouble, they go in right away to the hospital. Lots of doctors running around them just trying to understand what's going on, and then they make a break and then they go perform. Very seldom when the football players in a higher league, they run with a trauma. I mean, if it's emergency, yes, but usually no. Stop, like Jean-Claude Van Damme told me. Stop, take care of yourself, and then go further.
Yeah. Is in contortion like a habit to get X-rays or MRIs? Like, do people do that? Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, absolutely, all the time. Like, something wrong to you, like you cannot understand it. Like physically you look good, but originally you have something super somewhere inside, and you cannot see that. So yeah, I don't like MRI like 1 hour laying down or like 30 minutes, but you definitely have to do that.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, take care of yourself. By the way, about the Las Vegas, I got there with a broken toe. My 2 toes were broken. Oh my god. My dream came true. I came to Las Vegas, broken toes, barely could step on it and perform. And my doctor said, if you showed me the X-ray, and I saw my toes like absolutely broken, like different parts. I'm like, oh, that's so bad. But anyway, I don't know what happened after with my toe, but I think it's recovered by its own. It's so stupid. Originally, you should take care about yourself, but you're like, after what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So it was like that.
You must have done a particularly aggressive kick to break your toes.
Huh?
I said, how did you manage that? You must have done a particularly aggressive kick in order to break your toes.
I was rehearsing the action with my director, and during the rehearsal, I just stepped not correct place on my equipment, and we heard like crack, and she's like, keep going, you're doing good, keep going. I'm like, I broke my toe. She's like, perfect, come on. I'm like, okay.
Use it.
You have to finish. If something happens like that on the stage, you have to perform. You cannot just leave. So she's like, come on, perfect.
Have there been any? You don't have to answer this. I know some performers can get sensitive, but have there been any sort of big mishaps on stage? Any big injuries that you've copped over the years?
Yes, there was on one show there was a big the stage was moving, was going up, down, up, plunger. I don't know how it's said in English. So when one stage was going up, I was in the top and was really going high, and then another stage was going closer, and then something it was changing, and at one point I understood that my toe barely was, on the edge. So if the ghost stage was like this, you can understand what it is. But somehow I just like in the last moment realized that something bad's gonna happen. And then during the show there was this plunger was going up. I was standing up there, and over there was very sharp equipment. When long back in the history, people were killing by cutting their head with this. What's the name of that?
Yeah, beheading, yeah.
So wherever it was the same thing in our show. There was pretty enough sharp, and my arms were I was holding in the middle of this thing, and it was so spooky because I was going up, it was shaking, too much light, too much dust, and it was the only thing which I could grab was this thing. So I grabbed that, and then I saw that in the last moment this thing was going down straight into my fingers, and I barely took away my arm. Like, oh my gosh, and it's all everything up there. You barely can see something. But there was another super funny thing. It was horrible. It was after the show. There is the stage, and this splinter goes down on the upper level of the stage. So my act was finished, and I was going down on the stage. So I was above under the stage. This is the stage. I was on this level, and the guy, the stageman, was walking backwards, not seeing this hole in the stage. And I was on this lower level of the stage, standing, and I was doing something that I don't remember. And this guy pulled down straight on me, and huge stageman, he pulled down on me. I was yelling and crying because it's pretty dark down there.
Yeah.
And I was trying to grab somehow out of him, but the story doesn't end on this. One more guy did not see that hole and also fall down there. Two guys on me. Oh my gosh, I was in the scratches. I hit my shoulder. I was lying there and crying like, why this shit happened to me? It was very, from one side, funny. From another, for guys, it was not, they didn't understand what happened. One fall down on me, another fall down on both of us. So, but for me, it was really difficult.
It gives a whole new meaning to the phrase "falling for a contortionist."
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think last chance to dive in if you have any last second questions, but otherwise, I think we'll start to wrap this up. No, all right.
I think this video somewhere and people can just right down there. Any questions? Or
Yeah.
personally to me, under the video.
Yeah, so what I'll do, in a couple of weeks' time, I'll make this video available on YouTube. I'll send you a link, and then if you want to share it, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah.
So if anyone is interested in getting in contact with you, what's the best way to do so?
You asking me?
Yes, yeah. So if any of us would like to get in contact,
Facebook. There is two my pages, Nadya Vasina Show or Nadya Vasina fan page. Like on the both, like two page. Instagram too, but I don't like use it. I just sometimes upload pictures, but I don't use it.
okay,
Facebook.
cool, awesome. And I do recommend it. And if you get the chance, I will share. I'll share Nadya's YouTube channel. So go through that, have a look at her videos. She is a wonderful, wonderful performer. I think one thing that I've always sort of admired about your performance is I find there's a line, there's a balance that needs to be struck, certainly for female performers, sort of between fun, sensuality, and sexuality, somewhere all the way over there. And I notice a lot of performers, they either veer too far that way, or they try to put together a performance that I think is not too serious, but it sort of lacks the fun element. And what I really love is that you managed to find that balance of all three. So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Nadya.
What's your name, by the way? Yours.
Julia.
Yes.
Julia. I'm from Romania.
Oh, perfect. Nice to meet you.
Same. I've been stuck in Australia because of COVID.
Ah, okay. True. I mean, right. Not South where Australia.
Yeah, it's pretty safe. It's super good, and I've been lucky with Christian and his group to be doing contortion stuff that I always wanted to do, but I never done. And in UK, it's very expensive to take classes, and I just it's so beautiful to have a community here. With that, well, I'm sad because I injured my neck like 3 months ago or 2 months ago, something, and since then it hasn't been quite the same. So
After COVID, Romania doctor take care and about the community. That's good. Yes, just opens the possibility for people. That's wonderful.
yeah, and I heard like Ukrainian performers and athletes are training like crazy. Like I've heard like it's hard. We don't have this in Romania, like a school like this, and I'm not. I mean, yeah, we had Nadya Comaneci, gymnast, but
It's an artistic gymnastics, not rhythmic, but it's artistic. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, there's not much of not that I'm aware of a school in Romania.
Yeah. Nadya Comaneci, I remember her. So would you like to care about yourself? Where is Christian or who? Okay. So, are you gonna propose me something right now or no?
Perform for you.
Huh?
With a little more preparation, I might have done, but no. I mean, if anyone would like to show off, I don't know. Then is Sarah around? Does she want to show off something for Nadya?
It's late for you.
It's only 8 o'clock. It's not too bad.
By the way, how long do we talk?
We've been going for a little over an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh, we have to stop. I need to go.
I'll admit, longer than I expected, but it was a really good chat. I very much enjoyed that.
You guys were talking for ages. What did I miss?
Hey,
Oh my God.
heaps. Heaps. I'll show you the recording at some point in the next few weeks. Your mind will be blown.
Okay, so my phone is ringing.
The phone's
So
ringing.
if you just let's finish, because I didn't know that we'll talk so long. It's good, but I need to go. I have still the whole day.
But thank you for all the advice. It was very useful. It was very good.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank you very much for joining us. You've been absolutely fantastic. Love chatting to you. And I hope to do so again
Thank
soon.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for the link, and that's it.
That's it, I think. So we'll see you. Well, as I said, if I make it to Ukraine, I might see you in the next year and a bit. Otherwise, we'll find an excuse to catch up online again.
Absolutely.
And,
You know where to find me. So, Julia, bye-bye. Nice to see you.
It was lovely meeting you, Nadya. Bye.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye-bye.
Okay.